A bold and reckless jewelry store robbery ended in total failure when the shop owner fought back with a hunting rifle. Security camera footage captures the chaotic scene. 4 suspects stormed in, smashing display cases with hammers and waving guns to intimidate. One even wielded a handheld metal cutter, trying to break through the inner security door. But just as the situation escalated, the store owner fired back in self-defense. The sound of gunfire sent the would-be robbers scrambling in panic, fleeing in all directions. A reckless thief tried to sneak into a convenience store through the window, thinking his plan would go unnoticed. But the moment he poked his head inside, the store owner reacted instantly. Not with a warning, not with a discount, but with gunfire. Terrified, the thief had no choice but to flee, abandoning his robbery attempt in panic. A robbery attempt in Campo Grande, Rio de Janeiro, ended in failure after 2 criminals targeted a couple in a white car, forcing them out of the vehicle. What the assailants didn't know was that their victim was an off-duty police sergeant. Acting swiftly and decisively, he neutralized one of the suspects on the spot. The second was captured shortly after by nearby residents. Surveillance footage shows the terrifying moment an armed robber stormed a small store, waving a gun and demanding money. But the calm, quick-thinking owner waited for the perfect distraction, then struck back, overpowering the assailant. With help from others, the robber was swiftly pinned down and captured. The swift and decisive reaction of 2 brave men instantly stopped a daring robbery in its tracks. What began as a violent crime was cut short in a matter of seconds, as the suspects were forced to abandon their plan and retreat in defeat. In the dead of night, a thief slipped into the home of a young woman, his eyes fixed on her television. But before he could escape, the woman caught him red-handed. Cornered and enraged, The thief turned on her, charging forward with violent intent. Terror filled the room, but in that split second, a hero emerged. Her loyal dog hurled itself into action, teeth bared and heart fearless, colliding with the intruder to protect the woman he loved. The living room erupted into chaos as the brave canine fought with unwavering determination. That night proved one thing: heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they have 4 legs, unshakable courage, and a boundless heart of loyalty. A robber stormed into the store, gun in hand. He threatened everyone, shouting for money. But the store owner remained calm and alert, eyes sharp, recognizing the danger. In a split second, with lightning-fast reflexes, he took decisive defensive action. The robber panicked and fled the scene in chaos. This guy was trying to steal a motorbike, but the shop owner caught him in the act and immediately gave chase. Without hesitation, the owner unleashed a series of flying kicks that sent the thief stumbling and crashing to the ground. At the same time, others from the shop rushed out to help subdue the would-be thief. He was taken down on the spot, long before the police arrived to take over. A couple riding a motorbike was suddenly ambushed by 2 armed robbers who pointed their guns, demanding money in the bike. The man, remarkably calm, waited for his girlfriend to step back, then unleashed a surprise shot. The remaining robber was so terrified, he was left frozen in shock.
Get out of here, right now. Get out of here, now. Right now. You got 5 seconds. Safety's coming off. You've got 5 seconds. You've got 3 seconds. Leave. Now. Now. You fucking will open the door.
The video captures a failed armed robbery. The footage shows the store owner noticing the suspicious behavior of a masked individual inside the shop. When the owner instructed the person to remove the mask and the command was ignored, he drew a firearm to defend himself. The situation changed instantly. The robber fled the scene immediately, and the store owner did not have to fire a single shot. A video-recorded incident shows 3 individuals breaking into a store and overpowering those present during a failed robbery attempt. The criminal act was stopped by a brave individual who intervened and subdued the perpetrators. This story serves as a powerful reminder and an inspiring message for people to stand up against wrongdoing. A couple was sharing a quiet, heartfelt moment when 4 suspicious-looking men strolled past, trying to appear casual. But within seconds, the men doubled back and launched a sudden attack, attempting to rob the couple. In a burst of courage, the young man fought back fiercely, determined to shield his girlfriend from harm. His bravery turned the tables, proving he would risk everything to protect her. Security cameras captured a tense moment inside a convenience store, when an off-duty police officer sprang into action. Facing down an armed robber, he used decisive self-defense tactics to stop the crime before it could unfold. A hilarious motorbike theft went downhill fast, quite literally. The thief managed to snatch the bike and rev it up, but there was just one small problem. He didn't actually know how to ride. Within seconds, his joyride turned into a face-first crash straight into the ground. Defeated, embarrassed, and out of options, the wannabe rider had no choice but to abandon the stolen bike and walk away in shame. Security camera footage captures the terrifying moment a knife-wielding intruder breaks into a home and attacks a family. Sensing the danger, the family's loyal dog fearlessly charges in to protect his owners. In a jaw-dropping scene, the brave dog leaps through the window and sinks its teeth into the intruder, leaving viewers stunned. This act of courage showcases the dog's incredible loyalty and unconditional love for his family. Hailed as a true hero, the dog is admired for his bravery, risking everything to protect the ones he loves. A man brazenly stormed into a store, waving a gun and demanding money. For safety, the store owner initially complied with his demands, but he stayed alert the entire time. Seizing the moment when the robber wasn't paying attention, the owner quickly grabbed the gun, startling the criminal. Terrified, the would-be robber fled the scene immediately. A man was carrying his child and walking toward his car when a group of robbers suddenly rushed in. One threatened him and snatched his car keys, while the others targeted his wife. Just when it seemed the family was helpless, two unexpected heroes leapt into action. One drove a car to block the robbers' escape, while the other jumped out and swiftly captured one of the criminals. What began as a terrifying robbery attempt turned into a dramatic moment of courage and justice. A gang of thugs targeted a man walking alone, seeing him as an easy mark. But the would-be victim quickly sensed the danger, and with swift, decisive action left the robbers stunned in disbelief. Captured by a security camera, this was no ordinary robbery. It was a brazen armed assault. Two thugs trailed a family all the way home before confronting them at their front gate, guns drawn, demanding handbags and anything of value. But what they hadn't counted on was the unlikely hero waiting behind the gate, an 80-year-old grandfather. Fiercely protective of his loved ones, he wasted no time. In a split second he rushed inside, grabbed his gun, and pulled the trigger. The sight of the armed elder sent the robbers into panic. In their desperate flight, they abandoned their motorbike and disappeared into the night. A woman was walking alone down a quiet street, unaware that danger was lurking behind her. A thief crept up silently, then in a sudden burst, snatched her handbag and tried to flee. But before the criminal could escape, loyalty struck. Her faithful dog leapt into action, lunging at the thief with fearless determination. Snarling and attacking, the brave companion forced the robber to retreat, protecting the woman from harm. A daring robbery unfolded at a fertilizer and pesticide store, but was ultimately foiled thanks to the quick thinking of a courageous employee who protected his boss. Security camera footage captures the tense scene. A group of men in a white car enter the store posing as customers. Everything appears normal, until one of them suddenly pulls out a gun, threatening the owner and demanding cash and valuables. Initially, the robbers seem to have the upper hand, but in a decisive moment, the employee springs into action, firing a shot to defend his boss. Chaos erupts as the startled robbers panic and flee, their plan completely shattered. A peaceful evening at a small-town cafe was shattered when two men stormed in to rob the place. But their plan collapsed instantly. The customers inside were armed and ready. As guns turned on them, the robbers panicked and fled in terror. Some heroes never wear capes, yet they appear at the exact moment they're needed most. With fearless action, they protect the innocent and leave behind a powerful message. For those who choose the path of crime, justice always comes, sooner or later. A brazen thief attempted to steal a motorbike, thinking he could make a quick escape. But he was caught by the owner. In a flash, the owner launched a flying kick that sent the thief crashing to the ground. Although the kick didn't land perfectly, it was still a powerful strike that stopped the thief in his tracks. Instead of continuing the chase and risking unnecessary danger, the man wisely chose to step back. But his wife wasn't about to let the thief escape so easily. With fierce determination, she sprinted after the robbers. Sometimes, restraint is the smarter choice, and a reminder that crime never pays. A terrifying home invasion involving a masked gunman armed with a rifle unfolded at the residence of Caspian and Isabel Sheen, just as the couple returned from a date night. What began as an ordinary evening quickly turned into chaos when the intruder launched a violent attack. Thanks to Caspian's quick reflexes and bravery, he managed to wrestle the weapon away and subdue the assailant. The suspect, identified as Eddie Walker, was later sentenced to 11 years in prison. This incident highlights how courage and composure in the face of sudden danger can make all the difference. Caspian's decisive actions not only saved their lives, but also brought a dangerous criminal to justice. Security camera footage captured a tense moment on a busy street when Guatemalan diplomats were targeted in a robbery attempt. The attack unfolded suddenly, but the diplomat's accompanying Secret Service detail reacted with speed and precision. Their quick intervention not only foiled the robbers' plan, but also ensured the diplomat's safety throughout the ordeal. Four criminals rode motorcycles to a resident's house with the intent to rob. However, the thieves panicked, with some even crawling on the ground in a desperate attempt to escape. On a deserted street, the lonely footsteps of a young woman were suddenly shadowed by danger. A man crept out of his car, closing in with predatory intent, before lunging to overpower her. Fear filled her eyes as escape seemed impossible. But then, sirens split the night. Floodlights roared to life. A patrol car stormed onto the scene, officers leaping out like lightning, tackling the suspect to the ground and snapping handcuffs on within seconds. The woman, shaken but safe, was rescued in the nick of time, her fear giving way to tears of relief and gratitude. He walked in like any regular customer, pretending to shop for a phone. But in an instant, he grabbed the device and bolted for the door. His escape plan, however, fell apart just as quickly. The motorbike he relied on for a clean getaway refused to start. Seizing the chance, the young woman he had tried to rob chased him down and caught him. What began as a calm evening inside a small shop erupted into chaos when three armed suspects stormed in, guns raised, threatening the owner and demanding everything of value. With his life at risk, the owner initially complied as the criminals split up, shoving goods into their backpacks. They believed they had complete control. But the owner wasn't finished. Waiting for the right moment, he struck back, unleashing a blast of pepper spray. Two of the robbers were hit directly. An attempted armed robbery on a bridge turned into chaos when three gunmen blocked a car and demanded it at gunpoint. But the driver refused to panic. With lightning reflexes, he swerved, rammed the attacker's vehicle, and sped away. This thief thought he was clever, trying to steal a motorbike, despite already having one of his own. But karma never misses. Instead of riding away with his prize, he ended up with nothing, except a ticket straight to a jail cell, where cold steel bars are now his only company. The robbery was expected to be swift, but things didn't go as planned. A criminal approached his target, ready to strike. But in a surprising twist, the police arrived at the scene at just the right moment. Order was quickly restored, and the stunned offender was taken into custody. A failed robbery, and a powerful reminder that crime often ends in unexpected defeat. A couple sitting in their car, lost in a quiet, romantic conversation, suddenly found their night shattered when two robbers approached. Without hesitation, the man leapt into action, determined to shield his girlfriend and stop the threat before it escalated. A brazen carjacking attempt collapsed when a young man's sharp awareness and nerves of steel took over. Calm under pressure, he scanned his surroundings, then made a daring, perfectly timed escape, leaving the would-be thieves stunned. Security camera footage captured an attempted car robbery right in the middle of the street. But the driver didn't panic, instead, relying on sharp observation and split-second judgment. With no weapons, no violence, just a flawless reverse driving maneuver, the thief's plan collapsed in an instant. For weeks, police had been tracking the movements of a dangerous fugitive. The suspect, wanted for multiple crimes, believed he could continue to hide in plain sight. But what he didn't know was that undercover officers had already set a trap. Disguised and blending into the crowd, they patiently waited for the perfect moment to strike. As soon as the fugitive appeared, the operation was set into motion. In a sudden and precise ambush, officers moved in from every direction, leaving the criminal stunned and with no way to escape. Within seconds, he was pinned to the ground and placed in handcuffs. The mission was a success, swift, strategic, and decisive. Another dangerous criminal taken off the streets, a reminder that justice will always catch up, no matter how long you run. In the middle of a busy street, two thieves targeted a man's motorbike in a bold attempt to steal it. But just as they thought the escape was theirs, karma struck, swift and unforgiving, turning their heist into a swift failure. A would-be burglar tried to force his way into a home, only to find unexpected superheroes standing in his path. Cornered and terrified, the thief had no choice but to make a frantic escape. He barged into the jewelry store swinging a hammer, convinced he could smash his way to fortune. But instead of glittering treasures, he found only cold steel cuffs. The only thing he managed to shatter that day was his own freedom. It was a quiet afternoon as the woman arrived home and began unlocking her door. But in the blink of an eye, the peace was shattered. Two armed robbers targeted her, guns drawn, ready to strike. Yet she showed no fear. With nerves of steel, she quickly drew her own firearm. A split second later, a gunshot thundered through the street. Stunned and terrified, the robbers panicked, abandoning their plan and fleeing in desperation. The quiet of a neighborhood was shattered when a gunman on a motorbike ambushed a woman, threatening her life and demanding valuables. But just as the thief seemed ready to escape, fate intervened. A pickup truck roared onto the scene, its driver slamming into action and teaching the robber a lesson he'll never forget. The footage highlights just how dangerous it is for drivers when backing into a garage. In that brief moment of distraction, robbers often seize the chance to strike. Experts warn that this is one of the most common scenarios for armed carjackings. However, there is an important lesson to take away. The vehicle itself can become a powerful tool of defense and survival, giving drivers the opportunity to outmaneuver danger and escape safely. A tense confrontation was captured on video when a man seated at a street corner was suddenly approached by a group of criminals. At first, he made the smart move, fleeing the scene to protect his own life. But in a shocking twist, the man returned moments later. Driven by determination to defend his property, he launched an attack against the robbers, turning the tables on those who tried to steal from him. Security camera footage captured a shocking home invasion, as a couple returning home was ambushed and threatened at gunpoint by 3 robbers. Forced to hand over valuables to protect his family, the husband seemed powerless, until the sudden arrival of his uncle turned the tables. In a dramatic twist, one suspect was caught on the spot while the others fled in panic. The excerpt from the video paints a fictional yet chilling scene. A couple, parked by the roadside, was joyfully discussing their upcoming vacation, a moment filled with ease and happiness. But their peace was abruptly shattered when 3 robbers suddenly appeared, dragging them out of their vehicle with brute force. An attempted child abduction in a public place was stopped in its tracks, thanks to the swift actions of a nearby young man. Witnessing the terrifying moment, he rushed in and rescued the mother and her child before the suspect could escape. Though tense and alarming, the incident is a powerful reminder of the importance of vigilance and courage in our communities. In today's fast-paced world, sometimes a single watchful eye, or a timely act of bravery, can change the fate of an entire family. A brazen robbery erupted in the middle of the street when 2 assailants on a motorbike cut off a white car. One leapt off to snatch cash, while the other turned his gun on the driver of a black car, attempting to carry out a second attack. But the man behind the wheel of the black car wasn't just another helpless victim. With calm precision and lightning speed, he struck back, instantly neutralizing the armed robber. Then, without missing a beat, he pursued the second suspect in a dramatic chase that flipped the script on the would-be criminals.